Good afternoon again, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this information session on our Advanced Certificate in Project Management. Today we're going to take some time to talk about this certificate program, a little bit about the curriculum, some career opportunities in project management and the application process, and then we'll have some time at the end for questions. My name is Dawn Pickin, and I am a program director here at the CUNY School of Professional Studies, Office of Professional Education and Workplace Learning. I'm joined today by Brandon Kelly, who is a coordinator for this program, and we also have Dr. Barbara Eddington, who is an adjunct professor in the program. She is a PMP and is also the director of the Center of Excellence in Project Management at St. Francis College. We'll be hearing from Brandon and Barbara a little bit later in the presentation. And as I had mentioned, we'll have some time at the end for questions. Please note that you can use the chat function as we go along to type in questions that we will try to respond to at the end. I will say if you do have a specific question pertaining to your own personal situation, for example, like a question about a transcript or something of that nature, we ask that you will send those to us directly and we'll respond directly to you. And our contact information will be available at the end of the presentation. So first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our school. For those of you who may not be familiar with CUNY or the CUNY School of Professional Studies. If you're not from the New York City area and have never heard of CUNY, we're the City University of New York. We are the public university system of New York City and the largest urban university in the country. The CUNY School of Professional Studies was founded in 2003 and is one of 26 schools in the CUNY system, which includes senior colleges, community colleges, and professional schools. CUNY SPS offers 12 undergraduate degree programs that are designed for people who have some college credit but never completed their degree. Our bachelor's degrees include fields such as information systems, disability studies, and health information management. We also have 11 master's degree programs in fields such as business management and leadership, youth studies, and data analytics. We also have certificate programs offered at both the undergraduate and graduate level. This project management certificate is a graduate level program, which means that you must have a bachelor's degree to apply, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit in more detail. Most of our programs are offered online, and CUNY SPS was ranked 16th in the nation in US News and World Report's list of 2018 best online bachelor's degree programs, and that's something we're really proud of. Currently, we have over 3,200 students enrolled in our programs. Most of our students are working adults, and our programs are really geared towards teaching adult students. So a little bit more about the project management certificate. This program started in 2008. It is a fully online program that's offered in what we call an asynchronous format. That means you can log into the course site at times that are convenient for you from week to week to complete your coursework. You don't need any prior project management experience to take this program, though as I mentioned, you do need to have a bachelor's degree. And also, as I just mentioned, this program is geared towards adult students. Our faculty in the program, they're practitioners in the field, all who have earned their PMP, which is the Project Management Professional Credential. They have many years of experience working as project managers, so they can provide their real-world experience to the classroom. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Barbara Eddington, who, as I mentioned, is one of our faculty members and is going to talk about the field of project management and the certificate program curriculum. So Barbara, take it away.
Thank you very much, Dawn, and welcome to everyone. Let's start off with just, first of all, what is project management? I think almost everyone has managed a project, even if they don't realize it. Did you ever plan a birthday party, set up an event at your church or with your social group, planned a bake sale at school? Well, if you have, then you've planned a project. So just imagine it on a larger scale in the workplace where you may be involved in creating and launching a new product, starting a new business, working on the Hubble Space Telescope. That's certainly a project. And here for you New Yorkers, redoing the New York subway. That's a project, one that I hope gets underway soon. So that's really what a project is all about. Now, the next thing we should talk about a little bit is the curriculum. And there are 3 courses in this program. It's adding up to 3 credits apiece. That's 9 credits for the entire program. You see them listed here. There's fundamentals, communication, triple constraint. The first course naturally is going to be an introduction. It gives you the basic concepts such as the various phases of a project, dealing with project parameters such as the budget and schedule, and introducing you to the fundamental tools and techniques that project managers use, as well as learning about the vocabulary of the industry. In 601, the communication one, well, this is a really critical element. 90% of a project manager's job is all about communication. And this course introduces you to various styles of leadership, as well as different modes of communication, dealing with virtual or cross-cultural teams. There's been a large shift to asynchronous communication, not only in education, but in projects as well. So that's a really critical part of project management. And finally, the third course here, managing the triple constraint. This course focuses a lot on the tools, such as earned value management, that you really need in order to juggle what shareholders expect within the imposed budget, the timelines, and the quality requirements. So it's managing, it's still being creative within those constraints. So how is this going to help me, right? That's the real question you want to know. Well, it provides you with hands-on coursework within an academic framework. It gives you a basis for exploring the opportunities available in the industry, and PM really is applied to so many fields: healthcare, construction, government, nonprofit work, and of course IT. So it's going to help you gain the academic standing that you may have already experienced in your real work. Who should apply? Well, I bet there's a lot of accidental project managers out there, people who they're interested in maybe learning more formal aspects of project management. Maybe you've already been drafted to lead projects or work on teams because your manager saw that you have an innate ability to get things done on time and on budget. And many, many years ago, this is how I fell into the industry as well. So with this program, you can now formalize your knowledge and advance within the profession, perhaps eventually seeking to get your certification as well. One important thing I do want to mention is CUNY's SPS Career Services Manager. They can help you with both students and alumni, by the way, position their certificate in the professional fields. So I would encourage you to work with Career Services. It's a terrific bonus to the certificate program. And I think with that, I'm going to turn this back over to Brandon, who's going to talk about the admission process, the cost, and how to apply to the program. All to you, Brandon.
Thank you, Barbara. And again, thank you all for being on the line and joining us today. So as Dawn mentioned previously, to apply to the program, you must have at least a bachelor's degree with a 3.0 GPA. To apply, you would complete an application, submit it with the $125 application fee, and have your official transcripts from all schools that you have attended sent over to our admissions office. This includes any graduate programs, law schools, or colleges that you took classes at, even if you didn't complete your degree there. For those folks on the line who may have foreign transcripts, we do require those as well. So if you do have foreign transcripts, you would submit the official transcript from the institution you attended to us. You would also have them officially evaluated and translated, if they're in a language other than English, by an organization approved by the National Association of Credential Evaluation Services, also termed NACES. So you can find the list of organizations approved by NACES on the link on this slide. So next we'll be going over the costs associated with the program. So the prices that you see on this slide are the current tuition and fee rates, which are set by the CUNY Board of Trustees. The rates are for the current academic year and are subject to change in following years. So graduate tuition is $455 per credit, which totals $1,365 for one 3-credit course. There are also some per semester fees, which total $102.50. So adding this all up, it comes to a total cost of $1,146, sorry guys, $1,467.50. And again, as previously mentioned, there is also a one-time fee of $125 to apply to the program. So for those who may be questioning about any aid offered, we do have a tuition payment plan available once you're accepted and registered into classes. So this would allow you to make your payments for the semester in installments rather than one lump sum payment. So the earlier you do register, the more payments you're able to make in lower amounts. And so on this slide, you'll see the web address that will take you to our project management program page on the CUNY SPS website. So this is just a screenshot provided. It does show you some basic information about the program, and also on the right-hand panel, you'll see an Apply Now button. So you would click onto that and you'd be able to make your profile and start an application. So the deadline to submit for the spring 2019 semester is January 7th. It is okay if your transcripts come in a little after that date, but you would need to submit your application by January 7th for us to be able to review and to be able to provide any assistance that you would need or answer any questions that you have once your application is submitted. And so next, Dawn is going to be answering some of our most frequently asked questions, and also I see some questions came in. So with that, take it away, Dawn.
Thank you, Brandon. So I see some questions coming through the chat, which is great. We're going to address those. I wanted to talk first about some frequently asked questions, which may answer some of the questions popping up. So the first is, you may be wondering how long it takes to earn this certificate. It takes 3 semesters, taking 1 course per semester. So the fundamentals course is our prerequisite course. You take that in your first semester with us, and then we typically alternate the other 2 classes every other semester. So it would take 3 to finish the certificate. Another question asked a lot by applicants is if this program would help obtain a PMP. So this program will fulfill the project management education requirement for obtaining your PMP. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that's a project management professional credential, which is issued by PMI, the Project Management Institute. It's a fairly well-known, recognized credential within the industry. I want to note, though, that this program is not considered a prep course. It's not designed to help you pass the exam, which is a pretty extensive exam for taking the PMP. I'm actually going to jump over to a question that came in and maybe ask Barbara if you can fill in some detail. There's a question about the difference between the certificate and a PMP. I did respond a little bit, but maybe, Barbara, do you want to tell folks a little bit more about the PMP?
Sure. The PMP certification is actually it's an exam that you sit for. It's about 4 hours long. That there's obviously a lot of questions, and typically you can only sit for that exam if you fulfill the requirements that PMI has in place. So you have to apply just to sit for the exam. Typically have to have about 5 years experience, and you have to be able to complete the forms in terms of what your role was on those projects. So what I see a lot of students do is take these type of courses first, an academic learning of the subject matter. It qualifies as the 30 hours so that of training that is required by PMI before you sit for the PMP exam. But as Dawn said, it's not a prep course. A prep course would simply be where you focus on how to take the exam and memorization. So that's really the difference in it. This course here at CUNY is really about learning and understanding the basic knowledge of project management based on PMI's standards. But it's not a prep course to sit for a very intensive exam. I hope that helps a little bit.
Thank you, Barbara. So I want to get to another frequently asked question pertaining to the GPA requirement of 3.0. Sometimes we do get applicants that, and this is for your undergraduate degrees, sometimes we do get applicants that fall below that threshold. What I would say is that if that's you and you don't meet the 3.0 requirement, you can submit a personal statement along with your application that includes specific information about why you want to take the program, information about your previous academic experience, or anything else that would help us get a fuller picture of your academic ability. And we can talk with anyone individually about that if that case pertains to you. The next question we get a lot is regarding financial aid and if financial aid is available for this program. Traditional financial aid is not available because this is a part-time program and you have to be a full-time student to get traditional financial aid. But as Brandon mentioned earlier, we do have a tuition payment plan option that you can sign up for once you are a registered student. And then finally, before I jump to some of the other questions that are popping in on our board, I want to explain a little bit more about how the online learning works. So what we're participating in right now is a synchronous experience where everyone logged into this website at a specific time. Our classes are not like that. They are asynchronous, which means you're not required to log into the course site at any specific time, but you can log in at your own convenience from week to week to complete coursework. Interaction between students and with your professor typically takes place on a discussion board or a blog within our platform, which is called Blackboard, where you can read and respond to posts of other students and your professor. This program actually does engage in a lot of group work where you'll be assigned to work in groups on projects. I know there was a question about if you can work on a project that can be added to a portfolio. Most of the instructors in this program do assign projects to work on. I don't know if Barbara, you want to add anything to that? How you've done it, approached it in your classes previously?
Yes, typically we try to have either an individual project or a group project so that you're actually working on something, and that with the goal that on your resume, you can really show that you've worked together with a team, you've handled dysfunctions of a team, you've managed through them, and were able to complete a project. Because that's what employers are typically looking for. So they want to see your experience and also some of the problems and difficulties that you've gone through, because that's really the key. The difference between a project manager and a good project manager is that the good project manager has lived to tell about the things that didn't go so well. So that's why we include the projects in the courses and to help you build your portfolio to show a future employer.
Thank you, Barbara. So I'm going to jump to some of the questions that have rolled in, starting with if the classes introduce project management tools such as Trello. It does introduce them. We don't specifically teach you how to use any of those tools, but there is parts of the program where it's recommended that you may try some out. I know the course that Barbara is going to be teaching in the spring, which you all would not be taking yet because it's not the prerequisite course, but does touch upon various project management tools, for example.
Sure. Can I just
Yeah,
jump
go
in
ahead,
there?
Barbara.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure. This is another important aspect, is learning to use the tools. The issue now is that every company uses something different, and many of the tools, I shouldn't say most now, many of the tools are not usable across all platforms. In other words, Mac versus a PC. The master tool for project managers is MS Project by Microsoft. But there are a lot of new, more socially based platform type of tools like Trello and Project Libre. And we always include this in all of the sections, and every professor would be able to help answer questions and steer you in the right direction. Thanks.
Thank you. So another question came in about how much course materials are. It varies. Most of the time, we try to keep it pretty low. The books may range from like $50 to $100. It really depends on each instructor, but we try not to make it too cost prohibitive. Another question we received is if we typically receive applications from professionals in the startup world. I'm assuming that means like startup IT or startup companies. It says account managers, customer success, etc. The short answer is we get applications from all kinds of folks, people that have experience in the work world, people that are just starting out, people that have some project management experience but nothing formal, people that know nothing about project management. So really, as long as you do have your bachelor's degree and that 3.0 GPA with the caveat that I mentioned earlier, you can apply. So we have another PMP related question that says, potentially if one has enough requisite experience, could one sit for the PMP exam after taking this online course? So the first course in this program should fulfill I think it's 35 hours of project management education that is part of the requirement to take your PMP. But again, I just want to stress that this isn't a prep course. It's a standardized kind of test that has specific questions. It may help you to take a course designed specifically to prepare you to take the exam. Another question comes in related to fee waivers for CUNY graduates. We have tuition waivers for CUNY CUNY staff if you work at a CUNY school, but there aren't fee waivers for CUNY graduates. If you are a veteran, we can work with you to get your application fee waived. Another question related to the PMP is, are we advised on how to take the PMP certificate? I'm not 100% sure what that means. Again, we don't teach you how to take this exam for the PMP, but I know that all the faculty members would be happy to answer questions if you are thinking about applying to get your PMP, and would be happy to answer questions pertaining to that. And then, will this course touch on product management at all? I think Ryan, who asked that question, we can get back to you on that specifically. I think I need to probe that question a little further. If there are any other questions, please feel free to send them in. We also here on the screen have email addresses for both myself and Brandon. If you think of anything else that you want to ask us, you can feel free to do that and reach out to us by email, or you can call us as well, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. So with that, I would like to thank everyone for participating today, and we hope to hear from you really soon. Thank you.